Hello to all our future Year 7 students and your families. My name is Chris Hildrew and I have the privilege of being the head teacher at Churchill Academy Sixth Form. This isn't the way that I imagined speaking to you to welcome you to your future secondary school, but we've all had to get used to doing things a little differently over the past few months. Despite, or perhaps because of the challenges the pandemic has created for us, we're even more committed than ever to making sure that the transition from primary to secondary school goes as smoothly as possible. One thing that's really helped us to get to know each other better is that the future Year 7 students have been writing to me. I've had lots of letters and emails, kept them all in a big folder like this, and they've been telling me all about themselves, their ambitions for the future, and their thoughts and feelings about coming up to Churchill. I've got a few of my favourites here, lovely ones here on beautiful writing. Some of the Year 6 to 7 students have drawn me lovely pictures, that's lovely. Beautiful illustrations and handwritten letters there. These are nice, and some of them have also sent me a few pictures and things that they've been up to. They've been lovely to see. Some quite creative designs as well. This one here is a little keyhole that I can open up and find out a bit more about the student in there. That's lovely. And some as well with little stickers on. So it's been great to get all those letters from the year 6 students, and I've learnt a lot about them from those letters they've sent me. They introduce themselves very politely. Dear Chris Hildrew, brackets the head teacher, one begins. That's very nice to have. Another one started a bit less formally with a Dear Chris. I'll take it, just this once, I think. Thank you for your letter. It was nice to get to know you. I would now like to tell you a bit about myself. One of them started. Well, that's lovely to see. Hello. I hope you are reading this and that you're having a good day. Yes, I am reading it. Thank you for sharing that. They were very enthusiastic, some of them. Dear Mr. Hildrew, one began, I am very ecstatic to meet you and to join Churchill Academy in Sixth Form. Moreover, this is a monumental opportunity for me and the other Year 6s joining this year, 2020. Well, it does sound exciting, doesn't it? Looking forward to meeting you. Another one began, first of all, I would like to thank you for your letter as it made me feel more encouraged about joining Churchill. Well, that's lovely to hear. Thank you for writing that. That was the aim, and I'm glad it had the right effect. My brother goes to Churchill and loves it, one of the Year 6s wrote. He is in Year 9, and I don't think he is as excited about me going to Churchill as I am. Okay, well, I'll let you work that out between you, I think. Now, of course, I wrote my letter to them and explained them a bit about myself, and one of them responded specifically to my choice of football team. And they wrote, I was disappointed to read that you are a Watford fan, as I am a Manchester United fan. However, I wish Watford luck for the remainder of the season after we deal with the huge impact caused by the outbreak of COVID-19. I'll be honest with you, I think Watford are going to need all the luck they can get, but thank you very much for that. Another one wrote to me a bit about themselves and said, back in Year 5, I was on the school council and a millionaire. I was very excited to read that. If you are in the Millionaire Club, they went on, you have read 1 million words. Well, that sounds fantastic. There was also some interest in the house system at Churchill, and one of the Year 6s wrote in their letters, the reason why my dream, capital letters, is to be in Hanover is because my mum was in it. And I would love to follow in her steps at Churchill. I will be the 3rd generation of my family to attend your school. That's fantastic. The Year 6s also told me something about their family and their pets. One started, I live with my younger brother, mum, dad, tortoise and dog. I don't think tortoise and dog are the name of the mum and dad, but maybe they are. One of them wrote, my mum is an amazing cook, so I never starve to death. Well, it's a relief. My dad is my best role model, and together with my mum, he supports me with anything needed to achieve my full potential. I'm sure you're all thinking that your child wrote that, and you can go on thinking that, but only one of them did. So let you work out which one that was. Both my parents are allergic to cats, but my dad is allergic to everything with fur and feathers too. Because of this, I have a lizard and 3 fish. Excellent, that sounds like a good solution. I was particularly impressed by some of the names that your families have given to your pets. One of the students wrote to me, my first cat is called Petal, and we nickname her the Fat Cat. She sometimes likes to try to help me do my homework, but instead ends up sitting on it. My second cat is called Moppet, and she's really affectionate and sleeps most of the day, but she's really old. I know how she feels. Another one gave me these names. Try these ones on for size. I live with my mum, who I can't thank enough for my guidance, and my 3 gorgeous cats, Missy Elliott, Tuxedo, and Ariel. I mean, that's a trio of names, isn't it? Well done, that family. But my favourite, I have to say, out of all of the pet names we had, was this one. I live with my mum and dad and my sister and 2 guinea pigs named Poggy and Pop Bubble. I mean, what else could you name a guinea pig? Pop Bubble, magnificent. The Year Sixes were also keen to tell me about their ambitions for the future. One of them said, my dream job is to be a makeup artist for weddings, movies and TV shows. Brilliant. Another one said, I want to be an artist, a scientist or a policeman. Good range, keep your options open, always important. In the future, one wrote, I have no clue what I would like to be. I know I don't want to be a carpenter like my dad because you have to work outside in the cold. I enjoy playing with electric, so maybe I'll be an electrician. It's a good option, yeah. When I'm older, one said, I've got my eyes set on being a comedian and I like making people laugh. Looking forward to meeting you already. Others set their ambitions more on their academic success. One wrote to me, I am aiming for excellent GCSEs and A-levels so that I can go to Cambridge. Well, that sounds like a great ambition. We can certainly support you with that. There were other sporting ambitions too. I'm interested in rugby, one of our Year Sixes wrote. And when I grew up, I would like to play for England and the Bristol Bears. This is one of the reasons that I was so keen to attend Churchill with their great sports facilities. Another student wrote, I hope to achieve my dream job, which is a computer programmer for a computer development company. I hope I can get this because if I do have a chance on making it come true, I am sure I will make an impact on the world with what I might be able to create. I mean, these are the kind of ambitions that we're looking forward to fostering at Churchill, they really are. Yet another student wrote, not long ago I got my first Lego train. My friends started to show an interest in it. So we decided that when we grew up, we would become Lego designers and open up a shop near here. Well, sign me up. I will certainly be one of your customers. When I grew up, another student wrote, I want to be a vet as I love animals and caring for them. I am going to buy 3 dogs, a hamster, 2 parrots, and finally 2 tortoises, and I would like to buy a farm. Well, very, very clear. And finally we had, I'm not sure what I want to be when I'm older, but I'm pretty artistic, good on a computer, confident with English and maths, and I've done a lot of scratch programming with my dad. So might that take me somewhere? Do you know, I think it would. And we had, lastly but not leastly, I want to be a teacher when I'm older. I know I need to work really hard to be a teacher. Well, you do need to work hard, that's true, but it is, without doubt, in my mind, the best job in the world. I would say that, wouldn't I? You were also keen to tell me about your hobbies, and I'd shared with the Year Sixes in my letter how much of a fan I am of Taylor Swift. And some of the students recognised that this was a good way to get on my right side. I love all types of music too, likewise Taylor Swift. I love Pink. Like you, I was lucky enough to go and see her at Wembley Stadium and her music blew me away. Well done, well done. Very good. Not all of them, though, were able to indulge me in my fandom of Taylor Swift. And one of them wrote, very politely, sorry to burst your bubble, but personally, I don't like Taylor Swift songs. It's all right, we've got 7 years to work on that, don't worry. There were lots of other good hobbies too. Last year, I had a story published in a book, one of them wrote. It was about finding a new dinosaur, and David Attenborough was in it. I sent him a copy of my story, and he wrote back to me. And that young person included their story in the letter, and I read it, and I'm not surprised David Attenborough wrote back. It was terrific. I am interested in writing as you are, Mr. Hildrew, and I'm even writing a book at the moment titled How My Parents Ruined My Birthday, one of the students wrote. Now, they didn't include their story in the letter, but I, for one, am really intrigued into how your parents ruined your birthday, so maybe one day I'll get to read that. There were also lots of sporting hobbies as well. One student wrote, my friends and I went to a cricket competition with school and we won that. Then we went to the county cricket finals and won that. And now we are the boys' county cricket champions. Go team. And there's a team emoji that follows. Brilliant. I asked the students when they wrote to me to reflect on the Academy's values of kindness, curiosity and determination, and lots of them took the opportunity to show me how they were already living those Academy values in the day-to-day activities they do. One wrote this little story which I was intrigued by. Once, a lady in Domino's thought I showed so much kindness that she gave me free garlic bread just for saying she had nice hair. True story. Sounds brilliant. I might try that in Domino's myself next time I go. Another student said, last week we wrote poems about kindness and I wrote a haiku, which is an ancient Japanese form of poetry. And here it is. Kindness costs nothing. Kind words are like a spring day. Do more than care. Help. Fantastic. I love it. Well done. Looking forward to having you in our English classes next year. Curiosity was also on wide display amongst the letters that we received. We had this little story from one student. Last summer, I put a plastic water bottle in the freezer to find out how long it would take for the water inside to freeze. Unfortunately, after checking every few minutes to see how much of the liquid was solid, I went to build a water slide in my back garden with my brother and forgot all about it. A few weeks later, I snuck into the garage to get a strawberry ice cream and found the water bottle with all the water inside frozen solid. It took a long time for it to thaw out. Well, one of the prices of curiosity there. And then another student said, my mum sometimes says I'm nosy, but I'm not. I'm just curious. I love learning and school is very important to me. I like school better than weekends. Yeah, well, maybe equally much, yeah. This student wrote to me about their hobby and showed their determination. I think it was about scootering or skateboarding. Maybe they can correct me. They said, I have shown lots of determination in my life trying to do a foot jam out of a flat bank in a skate park on my bike and failing and then trying again. I don't know what a foot jam or a flat bank are, but I'm sure it sounds very challenging. And I particularly like the student that said, I use a lot of determination to manage my dyslexia. Well, that is fantastic, and we'll absolutely support you with that determination while you're here at Churchill. They also wrote about their hopes and fears for what the academy would be like. One of them said, it was good to read that when you started at Churchill, you felt a mixture of nerves and excitement. That's how I'm feeling about Churchill. I call it nerve-sighted. Brilliant. I'm having that word. That's going into my vocabulary. Another one wrote, I'm looking forward to a new start, learning new things and making new friends. 2 of my good friends will be coming with me. I'm really looking forward to shopping for stationery. Oh, I do love a good stationery shop. Don't blame me for that. I'm really excited to come to Churchill and meet you. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you too. That'll be fantastic. What I'm most scared of is your one-way system. I can also be very shy. Don't worry about the one-way system. We'll show you the way to go and it will all make sense very, very quickly. My only concern about starting secondary school is the amount of homework and fitting in with my sport, which is important to me. Yes, well, I think it's really important that you balance your homework with your sport and get those 2 things in proportion. And I often talk to our students about the importance of balance, so we can look after you on that front. One wrote, I'm mostly looking forward to doing food tech, maths and science explosion. I love it when a big bang or something exciting happens. Well, I'm sorry, we don't have a subject called science explosion, but I'm sure that the science teachers can make things go bang sometimes. I'm looking forward to moving up to senior school because it's a whole other world to discover with new challenges and new people. Brilliant. Love it. Getting involved in everyday school life and activities is another thing I love to do, and I will happily do it at Churchill Academy in Sixth Form. Yep, absolutely. Looking forward to that. I'm excited because I have heard that Churchill has amazing sports facilities and I love sport. That's great. Looking forward to that. We definitely do have lots of sports facilities and we're looking forward to you using them. I'm really looking forward to coming to Churchill, though I'm curious to see what it will be like after being homeschooled due to COVID-19. Well, we're all curious about that, aren't we? And it's going to be a really interesting period as we put schools back together after the pandemic, and we'll all learn that together, I'm sure. I'm not worried about anything to do with Churchill. In fact, I'm excited to go there. Brilliant. I feel so privileged to be going to your school and maybe even making more friends. Definitely, you'll definitely make lots of friends when you're here. But not everyone was feeling quite so confident, and that's totally understandable. One of them wrote, I'm really worried about this big move and worried about making new friends as I'm a bit shy and not very confident in new places. But hopefully it goes well. Well, don't you worry, we will make sure that it goes well. And my favourite one of these was a student that wrote, I just can't wait for the pages to unfold in my next chapter. Brilliant, beautifully put. Couldn't have put it better myself. I also asked the students to look up a little bit further and think about what the world will be like in the future, the world that they're going to go on to make. And I just loved reading their visions for what the future of our world was going to be like. One of them wrote, "I really hope that we'll be able to defeat climate change and global warming. I love the world we live in, and I want it to stay like this until the human race dies out. I hope it's not too late to change." I'm sure it's not. With students like you, young people in it, I'm sure it's going to be perfectly fine, and we can all sort these problems out together. One of them wrote, "I have thought hard about your question on what my hopes are for the world. I see humans as the biggest threat to civilization, with global warming, deforestation, and poisoning of the oceans. I hope my generation can change the way that people look at how we live and make our planet better for the next generation rather than worse." I hope so too. I absolutely hope so too. When the world becomes more advanced, I would want all the people to consider having an electric car because the deadly fumes are making a noticeable difference to our planet. Great practical suggestion. Absolutely. I think that future is on its way. I hope that in the future, people start thinking about what they're doing to the planet and start realising we all need to be kinder towards nature. My hope is for the world to make sure that everyone is treated equally. Well, I absolutely share that hope completely. That's brilliant. And finally, my hope for the world at the moment is to find a cure for the coronavirus. Well, we all hope that that happens as soon as possible, don't we? It was amazing to read what your children were looking forward to in the near and more distant future. And it's strange to imagine them 7 years from now leaving the sixth form and what kind of world they're going to step out into. What they've really hit on is what we believe is the core purpose of the Academy: to inspire and enable your children to make a positive difference when they leave us. It's such a privilege to be a secondary school teacher. We take in young children and they leave us as adults. If we've done our job properly, they will go on to be better adults than we are and make the world better for their children than we have for ours. Now, I know that you will have lots of practical concerns. Which tutor group will my child be in? Where will they be taught? Will they catch the bus on time? Did the school get that message about their asthma and their allergies? And those practical concerns are very important, and I hope that you will have had the opportunity to address those with Academy staff already. If not, please don't worry. Staff from the Academy, usually your tutor for next year, will be trying to contact you all before the end of term, just to introduce themselves and answer any questions that you might have, and make that important connection between us and you, which will be essential over the coming years. And if you do have any questions, issues or queries, you can just email transition@churchill-academy.org and someone will get back to you with the answer to your question. But my role in this video is not to discuss those practical concerns. Rather, I want to stress the importance of our core purpose as a place of education, which is learning. You will want to know, as parents, how to support your children's learning best as they move into secondary school and develop that increasing independence. And I have 3 pieces of advice for you. If you follow this advice, you will really support the work that we do here at the Academy. The first is to think about how you praise your children and what you praise them for. Here at Churchill, we praise our students much more for the process of learning than for the end product. This is because of research which shows that praising children for their intelligence, saying things like, "You're so clever" or "You're so great at maths," can actually harm their motivation by making them believe that they should find the work easy. Instead, when your children get great results or do really well, try something like, "Oh, that's great. Can you show me how you got there?" This is more helpful because it will provoke a conversation around the strategies, the techniques and approaches, showing that your interest is not so much in the product as in the process of learning. Instead of saying, "You're so good at English," or "You're so good at art or science," please delete as applicable, try, "Well, you've really pushed yourself on this project. It's great to see you working so hard at it." Or instead of saying, "You're so clever, you're so brilliant, you're so wonderful," try, "I'm so proud of the way you've put your energy or time into this." Or, "We're so happy to see that you persevered with this. It was worth all the effort, wasn't it?" What that shows is that you're valuing the effort, you're valuing the perseverance, you're valuing the time and the work that the students are putting in. And it's those habits that they will look for in the future, rather than the success of necessarily getting the highest grades. The second piece of advice is to seek out difficulty and learn to embrace struggle. There's something really counterintuitive about this for all of us. We instinctively rush to praise our children when they get something quickly or produce perfect work first time. However, if students find something quick and easy to grasp, the likelihood is that they either knew it already or something very like it, or the level of challenge was too low. Try asking your children after they've completed a piece of work, what did you find difficult today? I urge you to praise children when they're struggling, because that shows that they're trying, pushing themselves to do something difficult. That's the attitude we encourage. Seek out challenging tasks for your children to do and challenging texts for them to read, to reinforce the message that we give in school. If you're finding it easy, you're not learning anything. If you're struggling, you're learning. And the third and final piece of advice consists of the magic word yet. Yet can help when students fail or when they're in the midst of the struggle to master a new or difficult concept. I can't do it, or I'll never get it, or I'll never be able to do this, can be turned around with yet added on to the end. I can't do it yet. I'll never be able to do it. Well, you can't do it yet. Learning is a process, and students are always on an upward curve. If they can't do it today, they'll have to try again tomorrow, perhaps coming at it from a different angle or using a different strategy. As Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, famously said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try, just one more time." If you struggled with maths or languages or spelling at school, by all means share that struggle with your children, but share it with the determination that they will be able to conquer it if they apply themselves and get the help and support they need. Giving up is not an option. So those are my 3 pieces of advice for you as the family supporting our future students. Firstly, praise the process, not the product. Secondly, seek out difficulty and embrace struggle. Thirdly, harness the power of yet. I know that education is at its most successful when school and home are working together in unison. When you back up the school's policies and decisions at home, we pay you back with the best possible teaching and care that we can provide. As with all teamwork, there may well be some moments when we hit choppy water, when we need to talk things through, but our shared purpose, which is the best interests of your wonderful children, will, I hope, ensure that we can navigate those rapids together and send your young adults out into the world proud of what we've achieved together. I know that this is a really challenging time for all of you as adults, as well as for the young people who will be our future students. Together, I know we can overcome those challenges, and I cannot wait until I can finally meet our new Year 7 in person and welcome them to Churchill Academy and Sixth Form. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you soon.